Hey, it's Dorleen. Welcome to my rainbow card challenge. Today I'm working with blue. So I'm going to try to give this a little step by step. So I'm in Cricut Design Space, and what I did is I inputted a shape, just a square, but I'm going to unlock the image, and then I'm going to make that into a 4¼ by 5½ inch rectangle, which is the standard A2 size of a card. Now I'm going to relock it so it doesn't change. I'm going to duplicate that because there's a front and a back to this card. Instead of one card folded or scored in the middle, it's going to be two separate 4¼ by 5½ inch panels. Now I'm going over to the images. I'm searching for a balloon. I just want a standard, nothing fancy shaped balloon. And I only want the balloon without the string. Now you notice this image has it with the string. So I'm clicking on the string image and I'm just going to hit the trash, which is going to remove it. And now I don't want that little white highlighted section there. So I click on it again, go to contour, and then just hit the image that I want taken out. Click off of that, and there we have a solid balloon. I'm going to adjust the size, and I'm going to duplicate it at least once, move it over, because what I'm going to be doing is I'm creating an accordion in a sense. So there's going to be 3 sections of 2. So I'm overlapping them just a tad bit, and also going to add the score line, which you saw me from the shape. It's just the line, and then I made sure that it was scored. I made sure it was centered in the middle. Oh, there it is right there. I'm sorry. I thought I had already done that. So when I welded the 2 pieces together, and then I'm going to add the score line. I'm going to make sure it's centered, so that makes sure that the score line is in the middle of where the 2 intersect. And then I'm just changing the size just because I don't need a random score line just all over my paper. I'm just going to put it on the balloons themselves. And then with that, I'm again going to make sure that it's centered because I did move it a little bit, and highlight the entire thing, and I'm going to attach it. So now when I cut that out, or when I hit make it to cut it, it'll cut around the balloon shapes, but it'll add the score line in the middle. So I need 3 of those, so I'm duplicating 3. And that's pretty much it. And when I put it together, you'll see this is kind of, I'm showing you here, because the middle one, I'm going to overlap the 2 in order to make it one long accordion. Now, I realized later that because it's on Design Space, I probably could have done this, just the 4 together, but we'll worry about that later. The one thing I'm going to do is I'm changing those rectangles into guides so that way they don't cut. And the reason why is because I'm just going to cut those shapes using my paper trimmer. I don't necessarily need to do it on the Cricut. But if you wanted to, of course, leave those as the shape and they will cut out. I'm saving this as a card. And that's pretty much it before I hit make it. And of course, I also spoke too soon. I did decide I wanted the highlights on the balloon, so I went into the image, found just a random balloon, and then just kept the highlight portion. So I'm going to duplicate that 1, 2, 3, 4 times, even though there's 6 balloons, but because that middle one, the one I have a little bit lower, which could be any of the middle ones, it's going to overlap the left on one and right on the other. I only need to have 4 with the highlights because there's only going to be 4 balloons showing. Now, of course, you can make this as long as you want. So, if you wanted to do, 10 balloons, you would just continue this. So, like I said, I was going to cut my panels on my own, which I did. I decided to put pattern paper in the inside of this card. So the pattern paper was cut down to 4 by 5¼ So I have 1/4 inch, just 1/4 inch shorter than the actual panels. And I'm just adhering them with just some regular adhesive. As I always say, use your fingers between the piece with the adhesive and the piece without to kind of as a buffer. So in case you decide to accidentally drop it, it's going to drop on your fingers and not on the card. So here's what I'm talking about. So I'm going to be folding at the fold lines. And now, like I said, there's that connector piece. I believe I used the middle toned blue to connect the 2 back pieces. Now, this is perfect if you were die cutting these or even cutting them on your own. But like I said, with the design space, I probably could have just did 4 balloons in a row using that same idea, like, you know, intercept, oh my goodness. You know what I mean, putting them on top of each other and then adding the score lines. But I didn't think that through all the way, I guess. But that's what it's going to look like. So now I'm going to adhere the balloons together. So I strongly suggest using liquid glue with this card because there is a lot of wiggling and you want to make sure that it's lined up correctly. So once I glued it on, you see how that just overlaps just a little bit. So there, I'm just trimming them off, but be very careful. Excuse me, be very careful not to cut off the score line or the fold line. So again, same thing, liquid adhesive, again, wiggling it around, making sure it's on there straight. And then I'm going to fold it over and cut off those excess pieces. So now I have 1 light, 2 medium, and 1 dark. Now this is really nice if you wanted different colors with your card. Or your balloons in this case. Now, if I would have done all 4 connecting on Design Space, it would have had to have been 1 color. Now, I will tell you honestly, I did mess around with it a little bit, and I did do 4 together, and then I did an inset of the balloon. So I did white for this portion, all 4 white, and then I did insets, and the insets, I did them different colors. I'll actually put a picture of this at the end so you can see what I'm talking about. But once you put that all together, now the reason why I didn't adhere this on first is I wasn't sure if I wanted pattern paper on the inside, but of course I love it. Why wouldn't you want more color, more pattern on your card? So again, liquid adhesive, I strongly recommend. Put that in the center of your card or wherever it is that you want to place it. You could obviously do it a little higher, a little lower. I try to do it right in the center. And then you just do the same thing with the back side. Now, remember, it's pattern paper face down, and you want to make sure that this lines up. Again, great idea to use the liquid adhesive in case you have to wiggle that around. And that's what the inside is going to look like. Isn't that super cute? I absolutely love that. So I got this idea from Jennifer McGuire, who I follow on YouTube. She is amazing and she gives amazing directions. So check her YouTube video out if you want to see more. Now, she used a die for her balloon. I think she actually had circles. She used a die, but it's basically the exact same idea. So now I'm decorating the front. I'm just using more pattern paper. I wasn't even really sure what I was doing. I just knew that I was working with blue on blue on blue. Now, of course, there's a little bit red in that one pattern paper, but it's still blue. All of the cardstock that I'm using is from cardstock.com, and I'm part of their design team. So this is another reason why I'm making this card. And also, you know, again, with my rainbow card challenge, this being blue today. If you not already a subscriber, please hit that subscribe button and also hit that notification bell because I'm going to be doing a video every day this week because I've created a challenge for myself. And like I mentioned before, this is blue of the rainbow. I've already done red, orange, yellow, green. This is blue, and I have one more tomorrow with violet, or in my case, it'll be purple. So I just use random blue alcohol markers. I did a little bit of shading, but I didn't even really do anything fancy. I added those white dots because I thought that looked super cute. And I was just going to place it right on top there, but I was like, it needs something. So what I decided to do is that lighter blue, which is the same color that I use for I'm going to call it the card base. I cut that down a little bit. And then what I did is I just cut a slit in the middle. First, I figured out where the middle was, cut a slit, and then I scored from top corner to the bottom of the slit on both sides, and it gave 2 diagonal folds. And I made it, to me, I hope, it looks like an envelope or a box, and these balloons are coming out of it. So you'll see that towards the end. One thing I wanted to remind you is if all the information as far as the products I use, the colors I used, and where to get the products, where applicable, are going to be on my blog, which I'll have the link down in the information box. I'll also have a link to the Cut Cardstock store or website, as well as any information that you may need, but mostly go to my blog because that's where all the information will be, and also give you links to all the past cards, or you could literally just scroll through my my playlist. But isn't that super cute? It's definitely different. I love it when cards start one way and end the other, or sometimes I just don't even really know what I'm going to do until I do it. But I hope you agree, and if you do, please like this video. Don't forget to hit subscribe and continue. If you haven't seen my earlier videos for this rainbow color challenge, please check them out. I think I really did a good job. I was really happy with myself. But look at this card. Isn't it super cute? Can you imagine it on a desk, a table, a mantle, whatever? I think the recipient would really love it. It's definitely unique and different and definitely colorful. Thanks for watching. Bye.